Good morning, dear students. In the previous class, we have discussed many points under the lesson of tribals, Dikus, and the vision of a golden age. Dear students, in the same lesson, we are going to discuss few more points like what happened to the shifting cultivators, forest loss, and the problem with trade, the search for work, a closer look, and finally Birsa Munda. Dear students, the first main point of today's class, what happened to the shifting cultivators? The British were uncomfortable with the shifting cultivators. The British wanted to regular revenue source for the state and introduced land settlements. The British effort to settle gem cultivators was not very successful. After facing widespread protest, the British had to allow them the right to carry on shifting cultivation in some part of the forest. Forest loss and their impact. The life of tribal groups was directly connected to the forest. The British extended their control over all forests and declared them as state property. Reserved forests were for producing timber which the British wanted. In reserved forest, people were not allowed to move freely or practice gem cultivation. Many tribal groups reacted against the colonial forest laws and rose in an open rebellion. Next main point, the problem with trade. During the 19th century, tribal groups found the traders and money lenders were coming into forest and offering cash loans to the tribal people and asking them to work for wages. Indian silk was in demand in European markets. During the 18th century, the Santals of Hazaribagh raided cocoons. The traders spent in their agent, who gave loans to the tribal people and collected the cocoons. The coconuts were exported to Burdwan or Gaya, where they were sold at 5 times the price. The next main point, the search for work. The plight of the tribals who had to go far away from their homes in search of work was even worse. The tribals were recreated in large numbers to work for tea plantations and coal mines through contractors' law wages and prevented them returning home. Next main point, a closer look. The tribal groups rebuild in different of the country against the changes in laws. Restrictions on their practices, the new taxes they had to pay, and exploitation by traders and money lenders. Dear students, last main point of today's class, that is Birsa Munda. The movement began under the leadership of Birsa Munda. The British officials were worried as the political aim of the Birsa movement was to drive out missionaries, money lenders, Hindu landlords, and the government and set up a Munda Raj with Birsa at its head. In 1895, Birsa Munda was arrested. He was released in the year of 1897 and he toured the village to gather support. He urged people to destroy Ravana and established a kingdom under his leadership. And finally, in the year of 1900, Birsa died of cholera and the movement faded out. Dear students, up to here we have discussed many points like what happened to the shifting cultivators, forest loss and their impact, and the problem with trade, the search for work, a closer look, and finally Birsa Munda. Dear students, I hope you all are understood this lesson. Thank you and bye bye.